Okay, welcome back. We have this nice camera movement here. Alright, now we're going to start looking at timing. You can see that we've got this animation that plays through, and it's got drawings in most of the places that I want. But if we play it, it's all over way too quickly, because every drawing only appears for one frame. One nice feature of Toon Boom is that it treats frames and drawings as two separate things, which is cells. A cell is a drawing, and a frame is one portion of time that it will be seen on the screen, if that makes sense. So at the moment, this animation is set to 24 frames per second. So with less than 24 frames, that means this runs for less than 1 second. And we want it to be like a good, maybe 4 or 5 second animation. So what we can do, we looked at this a little bit before with being able to increase exposure. If your shortcuts are set to studio, you can press R and E to increase and decrease the exposure of any given drawing. And you can see there for this one, it's now going to hang on that frame for however many frames that is and then go back. Now we can use this to our advantage very effectively, and this is used a lot. Many shows will have drawings appear for anything up to like 4 frames. It will still be the same drawing before it moves on to the next. And the way you pace it, particularly in an action sequence, if you shuffle frames between 3, 2, and 1, usually, you can create the movement very exciting. So let's dive in and see how that would apply in this shot. So first things first, I'm going to select all of these guys, right click and go to exposure, set exposure to 2. Right away, everything is now playing in 2s. Hit play, and we get a bit more time to digest the whole movement. Pull that bracket out a bit further. And here I'm pretty much just going to experiment by increasing and decreasing the exposure of certain key poses and see what looks best. So to start with, I'm going to bring the start and the ending out to 4 each, and where it has this movement right here, I'm going to put the surrounding frames of that just down to 1. These ones will be in 2, but when it's pulled right back in here, I'm going to have a couple at 3 there, and let's see how that looks. Alright, so that's looking a bit better already. So we've got a bit of slowdown as he reels back, and then it speeds right up for this punch here, for the swing forwards, and then slows back down again. Now, a couple occasions here, rather than extending the exposure, you may feel it needs another drawing to help smooth it out and emphasize something. So that's what I'm going to do on this one here. I quite like these 3 drawings, but it's not helping to build the emotion up enough. So rather than just stopping on there for 3, I'm actually going to pull it out to 4 and put in another new drawing. And you can see these ones are quite close together already. So by having more drawings that are close together, you get slower movements, of course. And drawings that appear further away from one another will appear faster. And it's something you naturally get a lot more of a feel for just the more you practice. So the only thing that really has any dramatic movement there is that arm, isn't it? That's interesting. I'll pull that frame back, so and that one forwards, so that they just all stay with an exposure of 2. One of them has 3. Let's see if it looks alright though. Alright, that's pretty cool. I'm going to add another touch to this frame here by drawing a few more fists around it. So effectively what I'm doing is drawing 3 frames on 1 frame. This is a technique called multiples. So if something's really running super fast, so not only is this only for an exposure of 1 frame and the frames either side are quite far apart from one another, I still want to have more detail in there. But if you keep adding more frames, all that's going to do is slow the movement down. You don't want that. So by drawing several frames on one drawing, you pull it off. It sounds weird when you look at an individual frame, but when it plays, it works. So that already seems a bit faster, but also a bit smoother at the same time. So I'm going to do that here too, where there's still a couple of fists lingering behind. Increase this one out by 3. Put another drawing to help slow the movement down. So you can see this stage is great fun to do because you're just experimenting with movement and not caring about drawings at all. You kind of just throw frames back and forth and just try and make it as awesome as possible, and we've done it really quick as well. I'm going to make all of those appear for 3 and the last one on 5. Yeah. Still not enough time looking at his face. So there's a few there there's one there that's on 3, but I'm going to make a couple more on 3 as well. Alright. And that is our rough animation done. That is the actual term, look it up. It's not really. So next we're going to start refining it. Thanks for coming by. I hope you got something out of it. If you got stuck somewhere or something was a bit tricky, or if you have an idea for something else you'd like to see in a video, please let me know. In the meantime, you can check out some of my other stuff in those links just there. Oh. But thanks again, and I'll see you again soon.